My people wonder they say shall never end. They said allegedly Ebony's son almost fall that night as she claims that one of the cats that visited her at midnight bite her while her aunt and the nanny narrates their ordeal. You know that they say what happened to her that night made her speechless the next morning. As in she couldn't speak. She was just looking at someone that have lost her memory or something. It was her aunt and the nanny who explained what happened that night. And according to them, they said it got to a point where Ebony even claimed that the cat, as one of the cats, bite her, you know. According to the aunt, they said the aunt was explaining to people the next morning because despite all the shoutings, all the screaming, all the calls that she thought was going through, they said nobody heard anything from that apartment, you know. But they that witnessed it firsthand, they were shocked such that they have to speak out so that if there's any way they will get help, they will get it and will not experience such a thing again because it wasn't a funny incident to them. So they said how everything started. The aunt said she was staying downstairs with the nanny and the baby while Ebony was sleeping upstairs, you know. So while they were there, Ebony started screaming and shouting, and they don't know what was wrong with her. But when they hear her started shouting, "Cat, cat, cat, cat!" She was rushing down from the downstairs to from the upstairs to downstairs where the aunt and the nanny and her baby were. You know, they were in separate rooms, yeah. But they said her baby and the nanny were sleeping in the same room. And while she was rushing from the upstairs, shouting the cat, she was rushing to go and carry her baby. Then the aunt was surprised because they did not see any cat. They did not see any cat. Even though Ebony was claiming that the cat did not follow her down, but there were so many up there chasing her. Ehen. So maybe the reason they did not follow her down is because they don't want the aunt and the nanny to see the cats, you know. So at that point, when Ebony gets hold of her baby, the next thing she did was trying to escape from that building by going to open the door. But unfortunately, they said the door refused to open. And while that was happening, the baby, as in her own baby, started crying. The baby became frightened because the mother's attitude was strange, unlike the mother, you know, and the baby was crying. So while the baby was crying, Ebony was thinking that maybe the baby too was seeing the cat. She was trying to cover the baby's eyes from what we are hearing. They said at first, when her aunt wanted to take the baby away from her, because to the aunt, she is not normal. She refused to give the baby to the aunt. The nanny tried, she refused. Then, when she later released the baby to her aunt, was when they said she started shouting that the cat have bite her, that the cat have bite her. They said that was what she was screaming that night. Then, at that point, that was when the nanny hurriedly carried the baby away from her. And the aunt was asking her, where did the cat bite you? And she was showing the aunt that place. But the unfortunate thing, according to the aunt, is that that place does not look like where ant bite, not to talk of cats, you know. But all the same, the aunt said she noticed that it was a spiritual attack when the whole door locked, and for 2 3 hours they were unable to open the door. That was when she went and brought this uh, palm kernel oil and this shea butter, and started rubbing her that place, even though the aunt said she did not see any wound though, but Ebony was screaming that the cat bite her there, that the cat bite her there. She was screaming to the point that even when the nanny collected her baby from her, because they say at that moment she was screaming that the ant, but that the baby almost fell from her hand. that it was the aunt, the nanny, who now rushed and carried the baby, you know, and the aunt was now rubbing the shea butter and the pancake oil on that spot where she claimed that cat bite her, but there was no sign of injury or anything there, or something that showed that something bite her. Then, while that was going on, they said the baby was screaming, the baby was crying non-stop. And you know that one thing about babies is that they have spiritual eyes. Yes, they have spiritual eyes. I've had an encounter while I was small. Then my aunt gave birth to a baby. Then someone visited us. When you open the curtain, the baby will cry. The baby will cry. That man that visited, nobody knew that the man had accident and joined the ancestors. He came to tell my uncle, but the uncle was not around, you know. But the baby, the way the baby was crying, the moment that man left, then my aunt came back. They told her that we told her that so person visited. Before she could get to the gate, that man is supposed to still be at the gate. They couldn't see her again. Few minutes later, they called my aunt, and told her that the man have died. I'm just trying to tell you that babies, they have spiritual eyes. They see spirits when they came, you know. So I believe that the reason why the Ebony's son was crying that much that night may not be just because of the way the mother was acting. Maybe the boy was seeing something too, you know. They said this boy was screaming and crying non-stop. And at that point, they started rubbing her that pancake oil even in her face, even in her eyes, in his eyes, sorry, so that he will sleep. But if he wants to sleep, the next thing he will scream from the sleep again. That was when they said the aunt now concluded that this is a spiritual attack. You know, while Ebony, on the other hand, was screaming, my leg, oh, he bites me, oh, this, that, oh, hey. They said the kind of drama that happened that night, the aunt and the nanny, they cannot explain it all. And they started calling people. The calls were all going through, but unfortunately, nobody was answering. Nobody was coming to their rescue. They said the aunt said, because she was the one that explaining with the nanny, that what they experienced that night, they have not seen it before. They have not seen it before. The next morning, Ebony could not talk. She was just speechless because what she encountered that night, I don't know. Then they said after everything, when they finally opened the door, because for hours the door refused to open. The doors, not even one, all the doors that can help them escape from that building that night was all locked. They tried, they tried everything to go away from that place, and none of them was working. But when the door finally opens, they were expecting that people will come in and ask, what is it, why are you guys screaming, what happened, and all of that, because they were screaming on top of their voices. But unfortunately, they said not even a soul asked them any question regarding what happened that night. That was when they said the aunt was shocked to her bone marrow, because she never believed that with all the shoutings, all the cries and then everything, that nobody heard them. Even those people that she said, I called you, I called you, I called you, they all claimed that they did not see her call. But while she was calling, everything was going through. That was when they said, maybe the gods have come. It was a strange something, as in a strange event that they said they will never forget in a hurry. That is what we are here to know. If the information is true, don't forget they are all alleged unverified information making rounds on social media and shouldn't be seen as fact unless you verify them, okay? Thanks for watching. Do well to subscribe to my channel, follow my page, as I'm going to bring you the full gist. Okay? Thanks for watching. Bye. Love you.